Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we are going to talk about dilated cardiomyopathy, as the name indicates that heart chambers are dilated, and cardiomyopathy, that is dysfunction in the myocardium. So this is dilated cardiomyopathy. The general characteristics of dilated cardiomyopathy includes globally hypokinetic myocardium, that is hypomotile myocardium, along with reduced contractility of myocardium. Heart chambers are enlarged or dilated along with cyclic dysfunction. Cyclic dysfunction means that heart is unable to contract properly, and there is thin wall myocardium. This dilated cardiomyopathy is also called congestive cardiomyopathy. It is one of the common cause of congestive cardiac failure. Now come to the causes of dilated cardiomyopathy. The most common cause is idiopathic, and the other causes includes 25% of the cases. The causes are genetic. It is an autosomal dominant disorder in 25% of the cases, and there is a mutation in a single gene which is responsible for the synthesis of dystrophin protein. Suppose this is actin, this is myosin filament, and this is contractile unit of the muscle, and these are actin filament. Basically the dystrophin is a protein which holds these actins together and causes the contraction, proper contraction of the actin, and causes the stabilization of sarcomere. But when there is a defect in this dystrophin protein because of the mutation, then there is no stabilization of the sarcomere and no proper contraction, so cyclic dysfunction occurs. The other causes includes, remember the mnemonic A, B, C, D, and then PH. A is for alcohol. It is also a cause of dilated cardiomyopathy. B is for beriberi, that is thiamine deficiency. C includes Coxsackie virus, cocaine, Chagas disease, and coronary artery diseases. D for Duchenne muscular dystrophy and doxorubicin drug. And P is peripartum cardiomyopathy, that is cardiomyopathy which occurs 1 month prior to delivery, that is the last month of pregnancy, or within 5 months of the after delivering the baby, and the ejection fraction is less than 45%. The other causes includes hemochromatosis, that is iron deposition in the myocardium, and due to which the myocardium becomes thin walled. And so these are the causes or etiologies of dilated cardiomyopathy. Now come to the clinical features of dilated cardiomyopathy. It is predominantly occurs in male as compared to female. The male to female ratio is 2:1. All the features of, because the heart is fully dilated, the chambers of heart are fully dilated, and there is a cyclic dysfunction, so all the features of congestive cardiac failure occurs in these patients. As we know that we have discussed all these features in detail in the previous video on congestive cardiac failure. So left sided failure the features of the left sided failure includes dyspnea, that is difficulty in breathing, paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea, that is dyspnea occurs at night, and dry cough, crackles at the bases of lung, cardiac wheeze, and orthopnea. We have discussed all these features in detail in the congestive cardiac failure. The right sided failure features includes JVP distension, ascites, that is developed, that is fluid accumulation in the peritoneal cavity, anasarca, that is generalized edema, hepatosplenomegaly, and pedal edema. And there is S3 or S4 gallop is also included in the clinical features. So these all are the features which are similar to that of the congestive cardiac failure. Also these features are found in dilated cardiomyopathy. Now come to the complications of dilated cardiomyopathy. The complications, as the heart chambers are fully dilated, due to fully dilation there is stretch on the valves as well, so there is overstretch causes the incompetent mitral or tricuspid valve, so the valves become incompetent, so there is functional mitral or tricuspid regurgitation occur. Due to these regurgitations, these left sided and right sided failure features occur in these patients. The next complication is thromboembolism. These patients are more prone to develop the thrombi and emboli because of hypokinetic heart. In the left sided heart failure or the left sided hypokinetic heart, the emboli are mainly systemic. That is, systemic emboli are formed in left sided failure, while in the right sided, the pulmonary emboli are formed due to the right sided involvement. Arrhythmias are common because of the myocardial muscle stretch. So arrhythmias or AV nodal blocks are common, and there is a sudden cardiac death occurs in some patients because of these arrhythmias. Now come to the investigations. Echocardiogram and cardiac MRI, that is, these two are gold standard investigations. These two are gold standard or key investigations in the diagnosis of dilated cardiomyopathy. The other non-specific investigations are electrocardiogram, which shows the arrhythmias or dilated chambers of the heart and other ischemic changes in the heart, and chest x-ray shows cardiomegaly, and genetic testing is important if more than one family member is involved. The come to the management is almost same as that of systolic dysfunction, as we have discussed in congestive cardiac failure. It includes the ACE inhibitors like captopril, enalapril, and lisinopril, or the ARBs, that is angiotensin receptor blockers, like candicertain, valcertain. These are the first line agents or the first line drugs, and the others beta blockers like metoprolol and bisoprolol, carvedilol. These are basically the integral part of the therapy. And the others, when there is a ejection fraction is below 35%, then spironolactone can also be used. These drugs improves the mortality in these patients, while digoxin and diuretics are used for the symptomatic relief and does not improve the mortality in these patients. The non-pharmacological management options include cardiac resynchronization therapy, implantable cardiac defibrillator, ventricular assisted devices, and the last option is cardiac transplant. We have discussed in the congestive cardiac failure. Thank you so much for watching this video.